All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Tuesday morning. Welcome aboard our quarterly industry-leading full throttle live trading, live training sessions here at Topcon Options. Extremely fired up. I only do this once a quarter. We open up the doors to the public to come check out normal flight operations, our normal live trade briefs, and just get to kick the tires and see what we're doing here. So I'm going to do a little bit of an intro and stuff like that, and then I'm just going to get into it, man. We have a ton of stuff going on this morning. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citi, Goldman Sachs blew the off the ball. Covers off the balls with their earnings. And then we just got a light inflation print, a light CPI print, man. That is a big deal. But we're still in a little bit of a holding pattern. Even with blowout financials and good inflation numbers, we're hanging. Why? Because right now, the new Fed chief is supposed to be testifying. Now, he testifies first in front of the unwashed masses in the House, which is each member gets 5 minutes to yell and scream, and then it's a joke. Tomorrow will be more in depth, right? The Senate, they have more time and more dignified questions, but we got a lot going on. So I'm so glad. Oh, and by the way, we're engaged in combat operations as I speak on the other side of the planet. Had a good call with a buddy this morning. Got a lot of good intel with what's going on. So a lot going on. Very happy you're here to join us for Full Throttle. Let me go through the quick flight schedule and what we're doing and stuff like that, and then we'll formally get airborne. And let me show you the where the replays will be, because you got to leave early or anything like that. This is the last Full Throttle, last quarter. And I told you this is the replay page, so don't look at, obviously these are the replays from last quarter. Let's see how did we do last quarter? Told you that. Look at that. Amazon earnings. And then look at this, the primary brief. It was a Tuesday. What did I tell you? Buy the psychedelic names with both hands. If you did, you're rich. We'll talk about psychedelics tomorrow. And then, yeah, Raytheon. Oh my God, it was down at what? Whatever it was, we'll go look at, well, men lie, trades don't. Go look at Raytheon, folks. The last Full Throttle we did, what did I tell you to do with Raytheon? I said, sell the wife and kids, mortgage the house, and buy Raytheon. Oh, look at here. It was down at 170 when we did our last Full Throttle, and I told you to buy it with both hands. 170 to 205. You're welcome. How about Definium when we did psychedelics last time? It went from the last Full Throttle at 15 bucks to almost 50. You're welcome. And then obviously our bullish on Merica trades are printing money as well. So there's the evidence. I love leaving last until today's will go right up here. I love looking at what we did that last quarter, which is just absolutely fantastic. So that'll be the replay page. While you're here right now, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let me give you the link, because obviously I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. And then the replays will be up here as well. But also I do my Monday, Wednesday, Friday sit rep situation report, the Monday market intel brief, the Monday market outlook, Wednesday market intel brief, and the FMWU, the Friday market wrap up. You can see some of my media hits as well, Fox and stuff like that. So go click subscribe right now on our YouTube channel, because a lot of great free content ends up getting blasted out on there. All right, let me make sure I'm reading my briefing card to make sure I'm staying in order. Okay, good. Any admin questions before I cover the flight schedule? Oh, real quick. I shared this yesterday with my TGO members. Let me share this with you all, folks. If you don't know who I am, we can talk a little bit more tomorrow about one of our missions. But look at this. I want you to watch this clip real quick when it pops up in a second here. I just posted this yesterday on Sacred Warrior Fellowship. You see that lady? She was beat within an inch of death. Hasn't walked in 5 years without the aid of a walker. Can't smell because the guy destroyed her her face. She's a beautiful soul. But in ceremony this past weekend, the whole room, I mean, she walked. So what a powerful sacrament psilocybin is, folks. Unbelievable. Did you see? We'll talk about this more tomorrow in accelerated retirement. But the Secretary Collins got with Secretary Kennedy yesterday and signed an agreement like, hey, man, we're going to work tighter on getting psychedelics for veterans. So let me share this link with you. Go watch this post. Um, she could smell the flowers right there. That's the picture. And she walked. She's like, and then she's been sending, my phone's been blowing up from we have a thread for each retreat. Um, she's like, I can't believe this. I thought my life was over with my son. And I mean, the guy's in jail for the rest of his life. The judge said, I can't give you more time legally. If I could, I'd put you underneath the jail. It's a horror what happened to this woman, but that's in the past because she came on our Sacred Warrior Fellowship retreat and her parents drove her with her son from Texas to Southeast Florida for this retreat. And they are driving back. They sent pictures from Busch Gardens. And the dad is like, thank you for giving my daughter back. Um, wow. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow in accelerated retirement. Making money is great, man. Yay, making money. You're not a pharaoh. They're not going to put it in your tomb to take it with you. How about you make money and you profit with purpose? So we're going to talk about the psychedelic names yesterday, but there's so much going on that my heart just smiles when I can share stuff like that because it really is time to heal our heroes at home, folks. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get airborne. And folks, men lie, trades don't. Here's my E-Trade. As of the close, this is my personal brokerage account as of July 13th, yesterday's closing prices. Look at year to date. When do I really start destroying the so-called smart money? When the volatility hits. Look at my year to date portfolio is up 54%. Last quarter was 84%. Look at the S&P as of yesterday, 10. The Nasdaq 10. I don't even know what the Dow is, 7. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Top Gun Options. We are absolutely destroying it, and the so-called smart money. I just have a blast doing it. Now, Kevin Warsh, the new Fed chief, is getting ready to testify. Let me share a picture with you, because there's so many doomsayers out there that there's so many perma bears that have been wrong essentially forever. Maybe when the market does a downturn every once in a while, they go, ha ha, a broken clock is right twice a day. Let me show you something to give you a little bit of a level set. I was trading in a fighter squadron during the dot-com boom. What happened? We imploded. And a little bit of a recession and 9/11 stuff in here. Then what happened? We recovered. Me, was in the Board of Trade, the Chicago Board of Trade, ran over to the SIBO floor, Chicago Board Options Exchange. I went to the VIX pit. It was 90. The global financial crisis hit. Then what happened? We imploded again. But what happened? I'm going to show you another chart in a second. Somebody did something. And then we've never looked back. We move up and to the right. Oh my God, the COVID scamdemic. Something happened. The Biden bear market. Something also happened. And then Epic Fury and then the tariff stuff up here. Does anybody see a trend? I'm just a political science major from South Jersey. But folks, that is a trend. Why are we moving up and to the right? I'm going to tell you, and you're probably going to hear about it at 10 a.m. or he's not talking yet. What's that blue line? The Federal Reserve. They print money out of thin air. I'll never forget the 60 Minutes where Jerome Powell, a sitting Fed chief on 60 Minutes, he's like, well, I print money. I make it. I hit enter on my laptop or we print it and we send it to Federal Reserve banks. Isn't that great? We, the people, we didn't create it, created some quasi institution that just prints money out of thin air. If I owe taxes next year, can you guys print me some up? Look at the Fed's balance sheet. So back when people were allowed to fail and things were allowed to fail, the Fed didn't do anything. During the global financial crisis, George Bush, the war criminal, not the naval aviator, said what? He listened to his Treasury Secretary, Paulson, who was a Goldman Sachs CEO or heavy, ran into the Oval Office. Oh, Wall Street's going to fail. We're all going to die. No, we wouldn't have. I was sitting on the floor with the Options News Network. I said it. Don't do this. Do not bail out Wall Street. Things should be able to fail. If it all fails, it all fails. I'm pretty sure the sun's going to rise tomorrow. No, we can't. What happened? TARP. They made up these words, folks. What are we going to call printing money out of thin air? The Troubled Asset Relief Program. Okay, we need more. The market's still going down. Who went to Wharton? This guy? Make up a couple words. Quantitative easing. Oh, I love it. Well, we need more. We need more. We need more. What? Look at how much, excuse me, the Fed's balance sheet exploded and the S&P 500. And then obviously there's the scandemic with Jerome Powell dropping the biggest financial nuke known to man. So ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm getting at. Markets tend to move up and right over time. It ain't a straight line, folks. Obviously, COVID, Biden bear market, Trump tariffs, epic fury. But net, we do. And look at the top right of this chart. You're not strong enough. I work out, I do yoga, I go to the gym, I run. I'm not strong enough to fight the Fed. Now, a couple of years ago, they tried to do what? QT. What's that mean? Well, we asked the Wharton guy, we have to like sell our balance sheet. What do we call it? Quantitative tightening. Oh, okay. So I'm talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, is because Kevin Warsh is probably going to get hammered this morning about, first of all, inflation's raging. Well, we had a light CPI print. It doesn't matter. Epic fury. And you're a Trump plant. If he's dovish this morning, we're going to rip. I don't think he's going to be super hawk. I think he's going to stick to his, I'm not giving you forward guidance. I'm going to talk about current conditions right now. Who was it? Waller, some Fed dude yesterday. That's why we started imploding through the day. Said what? We're probably going to have to raise rates. That's the cliff notes. So guess what, man? A lot of eyes on the testimony today and tomorrow. So, but we're going to talk strategery. Speaking of George Bush, strategery. We're going to talk in the future, and we're going to talk about today in a little bit. It's exactly right, Scott. It was a disgrace. Real quick reminder of the flight schedule. You're in the primary brief in Full Throttle every Tuesday. Wait, the dates are wrong. Sorry about that. Today's Tuesday, primary brief. AR is tomorrow, accelerated. Retirement, we'll talk about the psychedelics and stuff like that. But tomorrow night, here's the new thing. Ignore the days of the week. I got those wrong. Options Weapon School, tomorrow night at 8. I'm going to give you a sample of what our 9 Options Weapon School trainings are all about. If you're sitting here like Wiz, you're like my Marine buddies. They can't even spell the word option. I'm going to help you out. We take a building block approach, and I'm going to show you more about that tomorrow night. But ignore the days here. It's obviously primary is on Tuesday, AR is on Wednesday, and then the Options Weapons School training tomorrow night. Real quick review. If you don't know who I am, former Navy fighter pilot, Hornet guy, Top Gun grad, adversary course, Operation Southern Watch on the Lincoln. That's my boat right now. I flew Hornets off the Lincoln in the Arabian Gulf. It's not Persian. We call it Arabian Gulf because it pokes the Iranian mullahs. And then got mobilized for Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom as well. Brief airline career, the morning of September 11th. That was it. First scheduled flight for American. I went out to the Naval Air Station. We manned a combat air patrol with the S-16 guys next door. Went to Wall Street instead. There's our trading firm right there. Those big, beautiful windows. You see those big, beautiful windows? That's our firm. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage that some of you might have used, Options House. And then I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, man. It was, we were the CNBC for options. It was great. I had a blast, but you can keep Chicago, man. No offense. Chicago now, absolute hellhole. Back then, it was okay, but I'm a beach guy. I need sun, sand, and Lake Michigan ain't it. So moved down here to God's Waiting Room in Boca Raton, where my beautiful bride is from, and started Top Gun Options in 2009, 2010, whatever. We've been doing this for a while. I want to show you our methodology real quick because this is how the brief is going to go today, tomorrow. It's called SOT, strategic, operational, and then tactical. What do I mean? Strategic, folks. A lot of, you got this is military, man. This is business. This is everything. You got to start at 100,000 feet. What's the strategic picture? We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes. We got to talk about Epic Fury. We got to talk about Ukraine. We got to talk what's going on around the globe. We got to look at the battlefield, sadly, literally. Then we peel the onion one layer and we take a look at operationally what's going on here in the U.S. And then tactically. Tactics support a strategy. If you ever go to one of these briefs and somebody says, my favorite option strategy, click the X in the top right of the browser and leave. They're an idiot. There is no such thing as an option strategy. There are only tactics. Strategy is what? Paying for college, managing risk, buying a boat in 6 months, short-term income generation. Those are strategies. An iron condor, synthetic stock, a bull put spread does what? Supports the strategy. Can't stand when people say option strategy. They're an idiot. Run. This is funny. Wiz, why do you talk about strategery at the beginning of a brief? Because of this tweet. Remember a couple weeks ago when the Apache got shot down? Look at this person. Deep value bagger. What does a helicopter have to do with all my AI stocks going red? Nothing. Well, deep value bagger, you're an idiot. It has everything to do with your AI stocks going red, right? Apache shot down, the NASDAQ started imploding. It's so funny that people think like this. They wake up, they put on their robe and their bunny slippers with their cup of coffee, and they're like, can't wait to look at my AI stocks. Oh my God, they're all getting imploded. Why? Because a helicopter did get shot down, dude. You can't trade tactically. It's so funny when this happens to people like, hey, yay, this, and I'm getting destroyed. Why? Why? Because you don't pick up binoculars and look downrange. You don't have your radar set at the appropriate distance, right? So, strategic, I'm going to knock this out in a couple minutes. Global economics, events, military conflicts, market conditions, and commodities. Obviously, what everybody's caring about right now is oil and the Strait of Hormuz. The president yesterday, we're going to be the angel of the Strait of Hormuz. I'm going to charge 20%. It's going to be great. Whoa. Okay, well, that's news. Operational, we peel back the onion. What's going on with the Fed? Interest rate decisions, the Fed minutes. He's talking right now, man. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the headlines. What are interest rates doing, right? Here's a quick, you're going to learn a lot of wizisms in Full Throttle. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. Of course, we care about interest rates. How about earnings? I just rippled through a bunch of earnings this morning. We'll take a look at the Death Star, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Citi, Wells Fargo. And then obviously we got AI and all the tech names coming in a couple weeks here. Domestic data and obviously the political landscape. What are you talking about the political landscape? Are you insane? I don't want this to happen, but I'm going to brief you if this happens. If in November we get Speaker of the House Hakeem Jeffries, the market will implode. I don't care your politics. I'm talking market. Why? Because the last 2 years of Trump's presidency will be nothing but impeachment. They'll impeach Trump. They'll impeach Pete Hegseth. They'll call Kristi Noem back to testify. They're going to drag, they already said they promised to do this. They will drag Elon Musk up to talk about Doge. And I guarantee you they're going to rip apart all his SpaceX contracts and it's going to be a shit show. What's this have to do with the market? Duh. If the last 2 years of the Trump presidency are nothing but impeachments, and if they take the Senate, I don't think there's, Fetterman wouldn't vote to convict. But folks, if the Democrats take, well, we like divided government. Meh. We like divided government if it's a check on each other. But if it's going to be 2 years of investigations, the market will hate it. So when we cover our bullish on America trade in a couple minutes, that's a threat. You probably read that in your Bullish on America report I gave you for free for opting in. So you have got to look at the political landscape when it comes to investing. Now, finally, after we looked strategically, operationally, now we can get tactical and start trading. And we have a proprietary, you have a proprietary 7-step trade plan that we use here at Top Gun Options. Does everybody have that? Do you have a copy of that? This thing is worth its weight in gold. How many times do you go to one of these financial briefs? I used to do it. I played secret shopper in Chicago going to an Invest Tools brief. The guy on the stage, everybody should have it. You must execute to a trade plan. I'm like, what's your trade plan? Okay, now moving on. I'm like, okay, what's the trade plan? Well, I got a trade plan from the skies of Iraq and Top Gun to the Chicago Board of Trade. I have a proprietary 7-step trade plan that we trade to. Before we ever get into a trade, we know when we're getting out. We'll do it today. Before I place a trade, I'm like, here's where we're exiting for minimum loss or exiting for max profit. Okay, so everybody, you should have gotten this trade plan when you opted in for this stuff. If you don't, let me know. I can maybe post it real quick in here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we need to get airborne, but stop trading stocks. Chumps trade stocks. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Okay, so let's just do that. Yeah, I'll cover this stuff towards the end because I want to get to trading here and see what Warsh is talking about. Hey, men lie, trades don't. This morning, how many of you made $400 in 4 minutes this morning? Out 60%, $400 in 4 minutes. This was beautiful. Somebody else got this. There you go, Brent. I got in within 45 seconds. I was out from my setting. Fastest $200 I've ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of our member areas, but this was free money this morning. I made $400, 60% in 4 minutes. I love doing that right here. I bought a drink. I called it a drinking money call. Bought a drinking money call and got out right there. This ain't hard. If I didn't have this brief, I'd be done. I would have gone. I already did yoga. I'd go to the gym, go work out. I don't sit here all day, folks. Absolutely would rather get my teeth drilled, but $400, $100 a minute. There we go. There you go, Catherine. Hopefully, yeah, Catherine, I know. So this is our hunters. This is where I post all my personal trades. Everybody gets in here and posts their other trades, man. Good looking stuff going on in here. But quick strike. All right. Quick strategic operational, then we're going to get tactical. The deal's done. It's over with. War back on. These guys are punks and creeps. A month ago, he called them great negotiators and good people. A month later, he hates them. And there was some reporter at the NATO summit, like a month ago, you liked him, now you don't. He's like, I got to know him. I'd like to believe he's not that naive and he was trying to give them as much leash as humanly possible and not have to do this. So now we're back to the reverse blockade. Blockade us, we're blockading you, hitting them in the wallet and the pocketbook. Why do I care about this? Because you have to care about this. When oil was, why do you care about this? Well, how about this? Let me open up the radar range a little bit. Obviously, when oil spikes, the market don't like it. Inflation goes up. But we saw it this morning with a little bit of a breather. Inflation came down. So there's your dials, Mr. President. And a quick note at the S&P 500. Both of these, let me open a 2-year chart here. Both the dips on your chart are what? Trump induced. That's a little AI freak out, but that's nothing compared to tariffs for all my friends, and let's go to war in Iran. If you take out both Trump-induced pullbacks, we would be ripping. We might be at S&P 9,000 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand this? And I told this 2 years ago before as soon as he won the election, I said, what? Buy the S&P 500 with both hands, period. I don't care what your politics are. He's pro-business. He's anti-regulation. For every new regulation the government wants to write, you have to delete 10 or whatever it is. I'm like, do you know how bullish that is going to be? And tax and this and that. And we ripped. One more time, you take out this and this, we would have super ripped. Remember that term, super rip, in a couple minutes because it's going to be a big deal. If the Democrats don't take the House or the Senate, or if they take one of them, I mean, the House has to indict, right? That's what the impeachment is. If they don't take the House but take the Senate can't impeach on their own type of thing. So if and the little redistricting games the Republicans played, if they keep the House, and we get rid of some epic fury, we're gonna rip. I'm telling you, we're gonna rip. We're gonna have some, freakouts every once in a while, but we have got to clear this up. Remember, folks, the VIX, the volatility index, pops on uncertainty. Once something's known, it's known. Duh. Well, here's why. I was talking to my mastermind group the other day. They're like, why haven't we got one of these right now? I'm like, we're used to it. The market's kind of getting used to, hey, all right, they're dropping bombs again, epic fury. Hey, they're still getting some ships through. Unless it goes super bad really quick, it's kind of behind us. The market is it's never too present. It's always looking what's next in the future. Epic fury, there's young men and women on the tip of the spear flying off aircraft carriers getting shot at. I care about that. The market doesn't right now. The market only cares when it cares. So that's going on with Epic Fury. We already talked about Ukraine and the Patriots and Raytheon and everything a little bit yesterday. But, it's so funny. The president sent a new letter to Congress like, hey, game back on, but it's a you know, new war type of thing. So reset my 60-day clock. Got to brief you on this stuff. I'm your flight instructor, but that's what it is. Rick, absolutely, man. That's in your Bullish on America report, right? Everybody should have got that when you opted in. And because he brings up a great point, I was going to bring it up closer to talking about the Bullish on America report. But ladies and gentlemen, last Monday, did you not see the President of the United States ring the opening bells from the Oval Office? That was a first in history. Michael and Susan Dell stood behind him. Why? They donated 6.2 with a B billion dollars to the Trump accounts. Then the president of SpaceX, Gwen Shotwell, I love her name. You got to be the president of SpaceX with that as your last name. One share of SpaceX to all these accounts. I love that a lot of people are calling out Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and some of the other billionaires and Jeff Bezos, like, hey, when are you guys going to donate a little money into the bullish on or the Trump accounts? That's the other reason I'm bullish on America is forced buying. When you hear forced buying of something, what do? You buy it. This ain't hard. This ain't rocket surgery. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Operationally, let's go. So that was a quick strategic part of the brief. Now operationally. Inflation slowed. Wow. I'm a little stunned, man. I guess we did get that breather, even though it wasn't a ceasefire, still shooting at each other. Folks, as I said on Fox yesterday with, what's her name? Harris Faulkner, they're not using this downtime, any downtime, to do what? To meditate and reflect on their poor life choices. To think, you know what, maybe we should get along with Israel and the US. They're using any downtime to reconstitute their weapons from China and Russia and to get targeting intelligence. They hit our Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain again. They hit some stuff in Kuwait. I saw leaked videos. The Department of War ain't putting this stuff out, obviously. They're getting targeting. Not too many Iranian secret squirrel spy satellites zipping around in space. There's a lot of Chinese and there's a lot of Iranian ones, folks, and it's maddening to me. But we do have, a little bit of relief. Um, so yeah, TJ, I'm glad TJ said that. Ladies and gentlemen, when you dig, you ever hear the word headline, right? So what happened this morning? The headline inflation number was good, right? Year over year, it was 4.2 last month. What were they forecasting? A little light. It came in super light. But he brings up a great point. Dig into the numbers. When you dig in, they ain't super good. And that's probably oh man, I can't even look. I'm not gonna watch Maxine Waters. The lady makes my skin crawl. Anyway, I can't. Okay, so anyway, you're right. That when you dig in, when you go past the headline, it ain't all sunshine and lollipops. And that's Warsh's job to actually say, you know what, underneath this stuff, it's a little bad. So, operationally, folks, blowout Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, or Morgan Stanley's tomorrow. But folks, um, let's go take a do I have anything else? Nah, let's go get tactical because I want to keep this on time. Usually the live briefs are about an hour. I try to keep us right at an hour. Depends on what's going on. And the last, half an hour now is when I start to get tactical and start trading. So, but these were his prepared remarks. They posted them. So I actually took a look at what he was going to say. I have no tolerance for high inflation. Well, that's good to hear. The previous guy cut rates in front of a presidential election. Never done before, and it wasn't needed. I thought the Biden administration said jobs were great and inflation was low. Why, Mr. Powell, did you cut rates 50 basis points in front of election? Is it because you are a hyper-partisan plant? Yes. He was the worst. Jerome Powell was awful. Um, so, we'll see. The Fed funds futures rate. I'm going to update our Bullish on America report. The CME, it's all in here, folks. All this stuff is in this beautiful report. This is in our tactical trade alert service. I can tell you about it if you don't want to join Full Throttle. But I do get into, the jobs number last week and all that stuff and obviously there's the Trump account intel and all the bullish stuff. But I also get into the bearish stuff in this report, and we're going to talk about this in a couple minutes. All right, any questions, strategic or operational part of the brief? Again, you might be sitting here if you're new, if you're watching us on YouTube or you opted in to join us for these free trade briefs. Again, I don't kill you. I have about 5 more PowerPoint slides at the end to show you how to join and everything like that. I don't give you 192 PowerPoint slides on stuff and look at old trades. Hey, look at a handful of my cherry picked winning trades. We go in here live and we're going to get airborne right now and start talking about some stuff. Okay. Warsh, with the correct policy, inflation surge of the last 5 years will be a thing of the past. Like it. That would be great. That would be great, Mr. Warsh. Warsh. Washington. That's what I used to say growing up in Jersey. All right, so talking about, and the S&P seems to like, there the Fed chief started talking right about 10:15, and there we go. If you're still in those drinking money calls that I placed this morning, you're actually looking pretty good. Okay, here's what I want to talk about, though, man. Well, I want to let's start strategically, and then we're going to get tactical because I want to look at a trade. A trade, folks. I don't place a trade ever if I'm not almost entirely certain. You're never fully certain. Anything can happen. That it's going to make money. Why would you place a trade? Now, a hedge, I hope I lose money. Now, many of you are probably sitting there going, wait, I came to a financial brief and a guy says he doesn't mind losing money. Yeah, I don't. On the word hedge. Whenever I climb, I have close to 3,000 hours in the F-18 Hornet. Do you think I climbed out of that jet once and said, man, I'm pissed I didn't use my ejection seat. What a waste. I would have rather had 800 pounds of extra gas. That would have been the flight I died on. Right? So a hedge, I don't mind it losing money. It's a bilge pump. It's an ejection seat. Right? If it makes money, it means my long-term bullish positions are probably getting a little hammered right now. Whoa, look at that. What just happened? So if you're in the drinking money calls, that was a huge spike. What would they be at right now? Look at that. I got into them at $8. What did they just spike up to? Well, it was a periscope, and now it's dying a little bit. Anyway, folks, that's 2 sessions I'll cover tomorrow night of Options Weapons School about my S&P 500 proprietary trading. You're gonna love that, man. Um, that was a huge green candle. I probably should have scheduled this brief later. No, I'll listen to that. To 1320. Oh man, that would have been about $1,000 in a half an hour with those drinking money calls. But never gone broke taking a profit. All right, so let's stay on target here. Let's go strategic first. I'll talk about the trade. It's a trade that I'm pretty sure is going to make money and serves as a hedge against my to protect my long-term bullish positions. I got Amazon, Nvidia, psychedelics, blah. So, but let's go with the good first, right? It went up to $18. Oh my God, man. I love it. If you're still in your drinking money calls, I expect a nice donation to the foundation. Let's stick with let's go bullish on America first. Then we'll trudge. Ladies and gentlemen, in the report you should see, and I'm going to update this to what's going after he gets done speaking today. I'm going to update this report and send it out to my tactical trade alert members. But I'm going to zoom in on this chart right here. Okay. This chart, ladies and gentlemen, is worth its weight in gold. Most analysts, right, Wiz Capital raised their target on Goldman Sachs to 1,500. Awesome. When? No, we just raised our price target. To when? When's it going to hit that? Next question. Not me, man. That's not how I operate. So here, folks, is my bullish on America S&P 500. Folks, I don't trade SPY. It's an ETF. There's different tax treatment, which is worse if you trade SPY, and it also settles in shares. The S&P 500 index, SPX, settles in cash, which is what we want. If you don't get that, you're going to join just so you can get options weapons school and learn this stuff quickly. But let's just talk. I used this term earlier, or close, Super Bowl. This is last week's prices, but we're up even more. I think by December of 2031, we're going to be at least 22,000 on the S&P 500. We're going to be higher than 22,000. That's my super bullish case. That's 22% a year. Wiz, that's pretty strong. Did you not see my Fed balance sheet chart? Did you not? You knock out that Biden bear market, 9.1% inflation, and a lot of stupid shit going on in the government. Take that out, folks. What are we at right now? S&P 7,500. Do you think the S&P could double in 5 years? Yeah, 75 plus 75 is 15. Folks, that's my base case, bullish case. So there's my Uber Bull. There's my 16. What if we just kind of do what we've always been doing? Well, that would be about the base case, 10%. We would be at S&P about 12.5. Okay. What if things suck, Wiz? Epic Fury gets worse and oil spikes. Jerome Powell. Xi, close enough. Xi invades Taiwan. Inflation stays sticky. The AI bubble bursts finally, or fill in the blank. All those bearish things are in this report. Then we're at S&P 8.8. So I cover the super good, the base, and the bad. I always look at the bad, folks. I'm not here to blow sunshine and lollipops, man, and unicorns. So all of this is in your Bullish on America report. It's on our tactical alert service. I'm going to update this probably at the end of the day because I want the inflation numbers in there. I want the financial earnings, and I want Warsh's testimony. I'm glad I'm not listening to it, so I can just get the summary towards the end. There you go, Dwayne. Dwayne got out at 1320. He made 115% in 30 minutes. Welcome to Top Gun Options for all my new folks. Now, let's get tactical, folks. I love these trades. I have two of these trades on right now. Let's talk bullish on America first, and then we're going to trudge in case things go south in this front month with Trump and Epic Fury and oil spiking. Always got to have a trudge on when you think something bad's going to happen. So, folks, if you're new to options, you ready for this? I'm Stewie and Family Guy with my time machine. We just hopped into a time machine and we flew all the way into the future, as far as I can go humanly with the options. And the trades I'm going to show you right now are hedge fund trades. This is what the smart money does, man. They go out, especially Warren Buffett. He knows to be bullish on America. Why? Because he knows the Fed, the government, ain't going to let us implode. We all know, I know this is a joke, and you should know this is a joke. Jamie Dimon in the Hamptons and that whole crowd and the Washington crowd, what do they need markets to do? Up and to the right. Oh my God, COVID, bail it out. Oh my God, global financial crisis. AIG, Hank Greenberg at AIG is an idiot. Well, bail him out. And folks, everybody gets a trophy. Now, I don't want to hear from your, who is it, Harry Dent, Harvey Dent? Wasn't he the mayor of Gotham? I don't want to hear from the Bears. We're 39.4 trillion in debt. Yeah, I know. Nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody cares. Don't give me, and the dollar's not worth the paper it's printing on. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We are playing musical chairs. The music is playing right now. Dance. You want to go sit in a corner, knock yourself out. But at Top Gun Options, folks, if, I'm not going to say when, because I don't think it's going to happen, if the music stops, oh my God, we're 100 trillion in debt. We're Weimar, Germany. I got to buy a loaf of bread with a wheelbarrow full of cash. I will pound the market into the dirt and destroy it. Read my book. It's over on the bookshelf, COVID Crash, From Panic to Profit. We made $2.8 million in 3 weeks as the market imploded. I made little old ladies in tennis shoes into millionaires. You're welcome. So I had this, we'll talk about this bullish on America trade, but I'm ready for the down, man. I don't want that. I don't like my fellow Americans' 401ks becoming 101ks. That's Wiz talking. Now, is Gordon Gekko or Jordan Belfort? I don't care. I hope I profit as others panic. Good. Your 401k getting destroyed to a 101k, that's your fault. It is. You're my liquidity. I hate talking like that. All right, here we go. So there's I'm kind of stepping through my 7-step trade plan. I don't have it out and showing each step because I'm on a roll right now. But we're going to go into the future, 5 years, 4.5, however many years. It's 1984, folks. 1984. Sophomore in high school, freshman in high school, junior. I forget. Whatever. I'm old. So December 31, folks. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open as many strikes as humanly possible. Okay. And I'm going to go as high as humanly possible. And the other thing I'm going to do is show you something really cool. I took this screenshot. I always forget this, but I'm going to write it down. Do you see over here 15,000, 16, 18, 20? Remember, I'm going to write these numbers down. 34, 45, 1,500, and 390. Let's remember these. 3.4, 4.5, 1.5, 390. Everybody remember that. I started, you see this? It says open interest May 21st. So May 21st, a couple months ago, we started, this is when I initially put this round of bullish on America trades. You ready? Let's go look. 15, so it was 3.4, 200 more. 4.5, oh my God. Folks, we looked at this last week and it was like, I'm going to take it up. Holy crap, folks. The call options in the 16,000 strike have essentially doubled. This wasn't this last week, folks. Somebody just jumped in here. 1.5, 300 more. 390. In May, ladies and gentlemen, there were only 390 call options at the 20 grand strike. Do you see this? Men lie, screenshots don't. I just showed you that screenshot, folks. Look at the explosive upside calls. As far out as you can go, as high as you can go. You're welcome for this. Wow. That 8.1 is insane. And look, I love this. And remember, folks, what did I tell you? We're at 7,500 right now. Do you think we could double in the next 5 years? Yeah. Somebody thinks that too. I should, there's my one more time. Let's go look at the spaghetti here. Somebody saw my report and said, "Well, Wiz is saying 16 grand, and I'm going to put a couple $1 million into that trade." You're welcome. So, folks, we're making this market out here. All right, now let's just start building some trades. Okay, let's step through this real quick. Wiz, I absolutely think the S&P could double in the next 5 years. Hell, I could think it. Throttle back. Let's just start with the double. You could go and buy. What are you doing here, man? Trying to drag you up. All right, here we go. You could go buy one December of 2031 15,000 call. Whoa, it's 11,600 bucks. Yeah. Why? Why is it expensive? Why is divorce expensive? It's worth it. But why don't we sell a higher strike call option against it to offset the cost? We could sell the 16,000 call against it, giving us 1,000 points of profit to run, right? What did that do to this trade? Wow, it reduced it to 2,200 bucks. Let me show you something real quick, folks. If you're new to options, if you just buy this call for 11,600 bucks, what's your profit? Infinite. If the S&P is by Dece of 2031 is at 22 grand, you have a massive amount of profit. How much? I don't know. You can go all the way up to the top of this thing. I'm not that in this trade. I'm cheap. I like having somebody else help fund my bullish on America trades. So in this one, it's going to only cost me 2,200 bucks. But let's go look at the potential profit. You ready for this? 3, 2, 1. $98,000 in potential profit. I want that to sink in. Okay? If you will allow me to round up, that's almost $100,000, folks. Wiz, what if we don't get up to 15 or 16 grand? Whoa, 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 whoa. If you're new to options, folks, it's the journey, not the destination. Let's say we only get up to 14. Well, in your this is E-Trade, in your platform, I'm sure you can go into the future and go, what if we go up to 14 grand? Oh, I'm sorry, you only made $41,000. What if we only go up to 15? Let's go up to 15. I'm sorry, you only made 48 grand. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, in the world of options, it's the journey, not the destination. So, isn't that awesome? And yeah, so all my members are right. The bid-ask spread, you could fly a truck through. Why is the bid-ask spread so wide on this trade? Well, guess what? It's so far in the future, nobody really knows how to price it. I will tell you, on many of my bullish on America trades, I've gotten filled at mid-market. On others, I might have to come up a little bit and pay a little bit more. Look, as I'm talking to you, what happened? I guarantee. So watch this, folks. Look at this. This is you. I guarantee you there are people in this brief doing this trade right now. And that's what changes, right? The price of an option not only has to do with what? The underlying. That's one of the 6 things that go into the price of an option is the price of the underlying. The other is people jumping into it right now. So don't just sit there and go, well, I'll never get filled at mid-market. I've gotten filled on almost all of my bullish on America trades mid-market because the price whips around. I would let that line hang over the side of the boat for a little bit and let it sit there. Everybody understand this? Okay. I'm not done. I want to look at different strikes here. Okay. Other trades. Now, I usually do these trades in AR, Accelerated Retirement tomorrow, but we're talking psychedelics tomorrow. But if you have a retirement portfolio, let's just say you have a $100,000 retirement portfolio and you want to diversify. You know what, Wiz? I wouldn't mind putting 25% of that, 25 grand of my retirement funds into a bullish on America trade. Other stuff, I'm going to diversify and whatever. Let's just say you wanted to do this trade for $25,000 in risk. Let's see how many contracts that would need. Oops, sorry. How that happened? No, not 8 and 8. Maybe 3 and 3. No, that's 6 grand. Let's go right there. 11. Yo, 11, yo. Folks, if you did 11 contracts, you took how I love these trades. How many, let me get a show of hands. How many of you would invest $24,600 today to potentially make a million? 1.1 million. Again, don't do the, well, what if we don't get all the way up there? Let's do the, what if we only get up, we barely doubled. We went up to 14,000, Wiz. Well, we only go up to 14,000 with this. It's $454,000. How many of you would invest $24,000 today to potentially make 450,000? Folks, I love these trades. And it looks like a lot of other people do too. Now, let's do the Super Bowl. And you can see these are my current trades. This is my one of my, what account is this? 8465. Yeah, these are both my, one of those is my kids. This is one of mine. Folks, I have these both. Let's do the 1820. What was my Super Bowl? 22 grand on the S&P 500. Let's look at 18. If you just wanted to buy one Dees 31, 18,000 call, it's 4,600 bucks. Whoa, it's a lot of money. Sell the 20 against it. Let's sell the 20 against it. Wow, it's only 1,600 bucks. Uh-huh. Now let's analyze this bull call spread. You ready? 200, allow me to round up, $200,000. Ignore the probability for max profit. Wiz, that's my GPA at Animal House, 0.94. Folks, what are these probabilities based on? At the money volatility in these options, right as soon as I said the word at the money volatility in these options. This is 5 years into the future. Ain't no way there's that much volatility or whatever in these options right now today. So I ignore, absolutely ignore the math today. This is where you make money. This is why you read the Bullish on America report and go, these are the reasons why it could go up here. These are the reasons why it could implode too, because I'm awesome. But folks, look at this trade. Wiz, we only went up to 16 grand in this trade on the S&P. Oh no, I'm sorry, you only made 73 grand. Let's do the same exercise with more contracts. Wiz, I'll take 10 grand, $10,000. I'm willing to invest 10 grand on being bullish on America in this trade. All right, what's 10 grand get you? How many contracts? Almost six perfectly, right? 9,600 bucks. If you risked $9,600 today, how much could you potentially make in this trade? $1.2 million. Isn't that insane, ladies and gentlemen? Right? So, folks, this is how you do it. Let's do a widespread. How about the 15-20? Maybe we do something like that. Let's buy a Dees 31.15 call and sell the 20 all the way against it. You give yourself 4 grand worth of run in profit, not 4, 5 grand, sorry. 5,000 in points in the S&P 500. Well, that risks 8,700. You potentially make $500,000. So folks, you could sit here and play with the different strikes. But isn't this interesting, folks, that some of these lower strikes all the way out into the future don't have that much going on in them? Exactly. Because people are assuming what? They're already, that's a given. I want up here. Do you see this? I'm telling you, folks, I've been doing this for I'm not going to age myself, over 30 years. This is how you make generational wealth. And like I said, I usually talk about this stuff in AR, Accelerator Retirement, Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. But I'm talking psychedelics tomorrow because that's also part of my retirement. Got a lot of stuff in the psychedelic space, folks. But this is how you get bullish on America. Any questions on these bullish on America trades? No, Dustin, you're looking at that wrong number down there. So, any questions on how to get bullish on America? What time is it? I don't want to go super long, but I would like to cover a bearish trudge on the S&P 500. Now, folks, if you don't want to, and I leapfrog these things. What do I mean by that? I have this on my DEES 31 all the way years in the future. And then the CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange, does what? They're going to come out with another series and another series. And the DEES 31 is going to be here before we move it. This stuff moves in time, man. I'll put on further out bullish on America trades. When you listen to Warren Buffett, this is what he does. He also sells like cash secured puts under the S&P 500 because he knows if we go down 20, 25%, Uncle Sam's going to do something. I don't agree with it. I don't think it should. The market should be able to go to zero. We ain't going to let that happen. Angry people looking at their 401ks are going to call their congressman, do something about my 401k, even though they don't get that they shouldn't. The government should have nothing to do with that, but you know where I am with this discussion. I don't like any of it, but I'm going to make money off of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So, Skip, what if you're an older person? Can't you get out early? I don't like the term older, Skip. We are mature. Folks, you can get out of these trades whenever. Let me brief you on the one I did like a year ago. One of my bullish on America trades I got out of. April 27th. How do you remember exactly when you placed that trade, Wiz? Because it's my beautiful bride's birthday, Susie, April 27th. So I remember placing a bullish on America trade here. It was during the tariff fiasco. I didn't do it because it was Susie's birthday. I did it because we imploded with the tariff fiasco, recovered, imploded, and then started recovering. And it was a little pullback right there. I'm like, no, we're done. It's in the rearview mirror, bullish on America trade. This one was a 5-year into the future one. And then as we got up here, it was up about 20 grand in, what was that, 8 months, whatever it was, in about under a year. It was up about 20 grand. And I'm like, you know what? My buddy Raisin Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, is moving a bunch of stuff into the Gulf. Yeah, I'm going to close that one. So, Skip, to your point, I had a 5-year bullish on it. I think it was out to DEES 30. And I closed it for 20 grand in 8 months. I mean, hey, what's that? Two grand, $2,200 a month type of return. There's your mortgage car payment or something like that, mortgage payment. So yes, long answer to your short question is 100%, Skip. You can get out of these whenever you want. So, oh, there you go. Then, Rick, you probably saw some nice profits if you were down in here in that tariff stuff and you're bullish on America trades. So, current members, for all the free folks that are joining us today, post your bullish on America trades. Richard, Wiz, any benefit to the 15-20 as opposed to the 18? There you go. Look at Paul. I've gotten out of the America trades multiple times in the last year for 12 grand per contract. Paul, well done. Good on you. So Richard, the only benefit, you're a smart man. You get this. This is more expensive, right? If you buy the 15 grand and sell the 20, it's a lot more money, right? But why is it a lot more money out of your pocket? Because it's more realistic. It's more realistic, Richard, that we hit 15 grand in the next 5 years than it is the 18-20, right? So obviously the 18-20 is cheaper. But so Richard, this is what I did. I hate gambling. I don't gamble. If I'm giving a keynote in Vegas and the client drags me to the floor, I'm like, okay, I'm putting this is what I'm okay to lose money in this pocket. I hate it. But guess what I do, Richard? I walk up and I play a couple blackjack seats. So I have this trade on and this trade, right? That's what I do. So I have them both layered on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody look at what Brent just wrote. Since April 17th, 2025, he did it. I think that's the one I did, Brent. The He did a bullish on America trade around that tariff pullback. Since April 17th, almost a year ago, 2025, my 11-12 bullish on America trade is up 631%. He came out of pocket 7,400 bucks. He did 3 contracts. It's up $57,000. This is the power of these bullish on America trades. I'm going to take screenshots of Paul and Richard because these guys are awesome. So there you go. If you didn't see this stuff in the chat box. Oops, sorry. It's in the chat box. I took a screenshot of that because I'm putting that in. That's great, fellas. That's how you do it. This is how you do it. And it's so cool. I wanted to do this today with our first full throttle session open to the public, because even if you don't know what an option is, I'll teach you that in Options Weapons School. If you followed me, like, okay, I'm buying this call option that costs money. I sell something against it. Whenever you sell something, your house, your car, you bring in money. Oh, so it lowered the cost of that trade. If you don't even understand the option part of it, but you got a little bit, you have a home at Top Gun Options now. I'll tighten all that stuff up. Man, I have a 45-minute to an hour briefing session just on that, on our bullish on America trade. Does that make sense? That's Richard. That's perfect. Folks, look at what he's doing. He kind of did what I'm doing down there. He did 2 of the tight ones, the 15-16, the 18-20, and then he did the wide one, the 15-20. Brilliant. Richard, those are multi-million-dollar trades potentially years into the future if we continue to move up and to the right. Now, folks, I'm going to remind you, I'm your fighter pilot instructor, your options lead. Man, it ain't going to be a straight line. Do you remember years ago when Xi Jinping stood in his wore his Mao outfit and talked to his generals? What did he say about 5 years ago? You will be ready to invade Taiwan by, what was the date? 2027. Look at the calendar, folks. That's not good. So there are potential threats to moving up and to the right, but I told you it's not going to be a straight line. Okay? So folks, real quick, because I'm getting some great questions. I want to keep us on time. What do you need to trade successfully? Anybody. You need to be trained. Fighter pilots are trained. Options traders are trained. Doctors are trained. Plumbers are trained. You ever try and do plumbing? Plumbing's easy. Plumbers can do it. What? Education is nothing. To steal part of a Calvin Coolidge quote, the world is full of educated derelicts. Training gives you a skill. Options Weapons School, 9 sessions you get access to, is that training. Okay? What else do you need to trade successfully? A frickin' plan, man. You should have, and if you don't, let me know. I'll get it to you, your 7-step trade plan. And then if you're trained and you got a plan, what's next? You need to practically apply it, baby. In what? Live trading sessions. And remember, folks, about 85% of our Top Gun Options members work for a living. You don't have to join and be in the live trade brief. What do? Well, you're going to be sitting in death by meeting or whatever, and I'm going to blast out a trade alert. Whenever I hit at everyone, it goes out as an alert. You get an app on your phone to download. We have a TGO app. You get instantaneous alerts, right? Right here. This is where I post all my trades. This is last week when I put on a bull call spread on the VIX, sent out the alert, right? On how to get bullish on volatility as a hedge, right? In case I run out of time, you can go look at that hedge when you join. So you don't have to be here. If you're like, man, I'd love these live trade briefs. No, you don't. A lot of people just watch the replays at lunchtime or after the kids go to bed. But this is a crown jewel of Full Throttle, folks, is the Options Weapons School training. When I showed up to flight school in Pensacola, Florida, there was a guy whose first flight to flight school was on an airplane. He had never seen an airliner or a plane before from Montana or wherever it was. And then we had a Learjet pilot who's like, I want to go fly fighter jets for the Navy. He almost failed out. Why? Because the Navy's like, no, no, and no, that's not how we do it. Well, this is how I did it flying Learjets. You say that again, we're throwing you out. So I take a building block approach, folks, and this is included with our annual full throttle. It's $497 worth of training. But if this is why people do the options weapon school, man, show me that sniper shot methodology. Show me how you made $400 in 4 minutes, or a couple grand the other day in a half an hour. Man, I absolutely love our S&P 500 sniper shot stuff. Not going to go through all the difference and stuff like that, or all these case studies and stuff like that, because you're here, you're in it, and I love you joining a regular member brief because you just saw some of our current members and their returns on different trades and stuff like that. So don't tell me you don't have the time. The live trade briefs are Tuesday and Wednesday in full throttle at 10 a.m. Eastern. They hit your phone instantly on an app. You get an email after the brief with the recording. Man, I got you, right? I don't have enough money to trade. Man, there is a couple $100 to do. When I show you some of the psychedelic names tomorrow morning, man, you can buy a call option for, a couple $100. You can get started trading options with not a lot of money. Trust me. And then they just got rid of last week or last month, the PDT, the pattern day trader. You used to need 25 grand in your account to do my sniper shots. Gone. Isn't that awesome? Thank you, President Trump. Can you imagine a country 39 trillion in debt having the balls to tell you what you can and can't do with your own money? No. Benjamin, get my musket. I don't have enough experience. Folks, good. No bad habits to unlearn, right? And I'm going to get you up to speed with options weapon school. So let me show you your different choices, okay? On the left, tire kicker. Wiz, I like this. I want access to your 2 live trade briefs each week, your manual training. That's your tire kicker, okay? $295 a month. I just made $400 in 4 minutes, man. I just paid for a month and a half of that. Or you can do the Hunters monthly, $497. What's the difference? The Hunters is that investment club, more or less, that investment thread. You don't get access to that at $295 a month. Okay, kind of a tire kicker. $497 a month, you do get access to that Hunters thread where I post all of those trades. But to be honest with you, 90 to 90, we did an audit recently. It's like 92 whatever percent of TGO members just go right into full throttle max, the annual membership. You get everything. You get the 2 live trade briefs, the options weapon school, the Hunters thread on that app. You get some angel investment opportunities when they come out and all sorts of incredible good stuff. So most folks right out of the gate do the annual membership. These are the tire kickers, folks. Little tire kicker, more serious tire kicker. It's up to you. But obviously you save 50%. If you did this, it's almost 6 grand a year. That's why I give a 50% discount on the annual membership. So let me give you the link to join Full Throttle. Tomorrow we'll do our AR, accelerated retirement, talk about psychedelics, and you can compare all the squadrons on the website here. I break everything out, but let me give you the direct Full Throttle link right here, right there. Look at the S&P 500, man. Who's still in there drinking money calls? We're ripping on the S&P 500. I don't have a lot of money, but use this information for Jane's account and mine. Slowly, but getting there. Thomas, I love it, man. Nice, solid base hits. I love what you're doing. You're doing some good work, Thomas. So like I said, 295, essentially tire kicker. And, I do the annual. The annual's the way to go in the middle here. And then we'll go take a look at some questions here. But yeah, on the trade groups, compare all squadrons. If you want, because this isn't part of Full Throttle, folks, those tactical alerts, the AI report, the psychedelic report, the Bullish on America report, that's on our tactical trade alerts. That's not part of Full Throttle. I don't drink anymore, thank you God, and psychedelic assisted therapy. That's a bottle of wine, and not even a good bottle of wine. I enjoy a glass of wine every once in a while. I will not say I will say I don't drink anymore because when Wiz drank, he drank. I don't drink anymore. I can have a glass of wine with my pasta or my steak if I'm out with my bride. Um, but folks, for a bottle price of a bottle of wine, that's tactical trade alerts. It's not part of full throttle, but I just wanted to throw that out there because if you do want to get the next Bullish on America report that I'm going to do this afternoon, after I figure out what he testified about and said, I'm going to update this report. The last report I sent out, how many pages is this? 14. Same thing, man. I'm gonna and I put the Bullish on America trades in there and everything. But just quick reminder, the tactical trade alert service is not part of full throttle. Okay, and you can see it on there. Full throttle's down here, and tactical trade alerts is up here. So some people are like, you know what, Wiz, I don't have the time for the live trading or anything like that, but I love the reports and getting the trades just in an email. If you do go the tactical trade alert service, if you do the annual membership at 970, I will give you options weapon school. The monthly doesn't get it. So that's 497 bucks of value right there. Okay. Joe, tactical trade alert trades and uh, correct, Joe. They're two separate things. Tactical trade alerts isn't a live trading service. It's me coming up with those hedge fund reports and putting a trade in them. Some people just like that because they don't have the time to do all the live trading. But again, Joe, you watch the replays and you get the alerts in full throttle. Just about everybody is in tactical trade alerts and also in full throttle. It's just two separate services. Does that make sense? You can just it's all broken out under compare all the squadrons. Okay, but I mean we're here to talk about full throttle, the live trade briefs, the this, the that, and the everything. So they go together. They're Reese's peanut butter cup, but they're two separate services. So join tactical trade alerts to get your hands on the reports, and then full throttle is the live trading and everything like that. But yeah, let me show you the member area. 1111. It's an angel number. That is God. It's God speaking to us. We're on the right path. So here's the hunters thread. Like I said, I posted this morning, 400 bucks in 4 minutes, which was pretty good. So all my alerts are posted right there in the hunters and intel. I post intel in here as well. Here's our general ready room. There's 733 people in here. Hey man, as soon as it came out, hey, CPI is light. FDA finalizes guidance on psychedelics. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan crush earnings. So this is where I post general intel throughout the day and stuff like that. But that's for almost all of our members. But to get into the hunters, where I post my personal trades and the portfolio trades, you have to join either annual or that monthly hunters. Here's what the member area looks like. Tactical trade alerts up here. AR, we'll do that tomorrow. The primary live trade brief, that's where all the replays are and the trades are posted. Solo AI, it's our AI service every Monday morning at 10. And then OWS, Options Weapons School. Folks, this is worth its weight in gold, man. The 9 sessions to get you up to speed. Like I said, session 1, I don't even mention the word call or put. That's session 2, man. And then all the sessions over. There's your sniper shot methodology, 8 and 9 down here. But this is the building block approach in options weapons school that we take. Okay. Again, folks, if you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, you should. But how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, man. So this is what I do here at Top Gun Options and Full Throttle. Okay. Awesome. Richard posted a nice looking trade right there. And this is a great community, folks. We interact. That's one of the things that sucked when I started out as a retail trader back in the day, man, before cell phones existed, was what? Alone. You're kind of sitting there in your bunny slippers and with your cup of coffee. What am I doing? We have a community. One of the best parts about this community is the ability to red team. Like Richard or somebody, will post like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this trade. What do you think? Rip it apart, make it better. How am I going to lose money? And we will, man. This is a nice, tight squadron here at Top Gun Options. Okay. I don't want to go too much longer. I will post this replay up here. It'll be at the top of the replay page. I'll leave the last two briefs from last quarter on here if you're really bored. But folks talked about the psychedelics and bullish on America. But this is the replay page in case you joined late or, you know, whatever. Neil, nope. Solo Amazon went away. It is now called Solo AI. Instead of Amazon's in that portfolio, it's one of my largest holdings. But we have 10 names in our AI sector that we trade, from the hyperscalers, the data centers, the infrastructure, and the chips. NVIDIA, Broadcom, Bloom Energy. I mean, so solo Amazon does not exist anymore. It's solo AI. It's every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Awesome. Best options training available. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. But yeah, we're doing full throttle this week. I think I'll do solo AI in a couple weeks from now, do a promo talking about that service. But if you're interested in solo AI, again, it's on the website there. 10 names, AI, we're crushing it. We do have SpaceX in our solo AI portfolio. Okay, I didn't mean to talk about all the different services. I should have stayed on target, stay on target with full throttle. But since I had the trade report up, I mentioned tactical trade alerts. And then somebody just asked about solo Amazon, and I answered that question. But stay on target with full throttle. You don't have to go all over the place. All right. I can't wait to see what Kevin Warr said today. So make sure you join me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to because I'll debrief all of his comments from today. And don't forget, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. That whatever happened today, and it looks like the market's liking what he's saying, he usually, Powell at least, would clean up what he'll go debrief, right? He's going to go back to the Fed after he gets done testifying, and he's going to go, what? I'm going to tightens up some stuff and say this tomorrow in front of the Senate. So this is a great 2 days. I'm so glad I did this to be doing full throttle so we can shuck and jive with what he's saying in front of that. Joe, I ran out of time. I have a 1 hour ass and it's 1 hour and 17 minutes. We'll talk about a trudge tomorrow. We'll do psychedelics and trudging tomorrow. But today I wanted to focus on the bullish on America and if I had time to get to the trudge. Okay? Awesome, man. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, you can always reach out to me. This is what's good about being a member is look at this. You got to chat. You can chat with, look at my members, shoot me a message and stuff like that. I'm not going to give you individual trading advice, not a registered investment advisor, or broker dealer. But I can, if you have any sort of training questions and stuff like that, you can always chat me direct, okay, on our app and on our member page. All right, guys, I'll get the replay posted shortly on the member page. Make sure you join me tomorrow at 10 for psychedelics and the trudge for Joe. And then tomorrow night at 8, we'll wrap up with some options weapons school training. I love this, folks. I love full throttle. I love opening up the doors once a quarter to the public to show you our normal flight operations. I killed you with what? 10, no, that was about 7 PowerPoint slides. You go to some other financial brief, it's going to be all PowerPoint slides with some cherry picked trades, and they ain't showing you what they're currently doing. I just showed you some bullish on America trades that could potentially, depending on the number of contracts you do, make millions, or using one contract, 100 grand, couple hundred grand. That's pretty effing cool. Nobody else does this but me and Top Gun Options. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Fights on. Namaste and whiz out. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Cheers.